The sleek human ship Horizon floated at the edge of known space. Its mission was to find new life and make friends with aliens. Captain Ju Park and her crew were excited but careful. Their sensors found strange energy coming from a nearby star system. "Captain, I'm picking up something big heading our way," said Officer Do-Yeon Kim, looking worried at his screen. Captain Park walked to the front window. A strange ship appeared, unlike anything humans had built. It moved smoothly through space with beautiful curved lines that seemed impossible. "It's so advanced," whispered Science Officer Minaryu. "The design breaks all our engineering rules." The alien ship grew larger on their screens. It was 3 times bigger than the Horizon and had weapons that glowed with strange energy. "They're trying to talk to us," said Do-Yeon, pressing buttons on his console. "Accepting transmission now." Everyone on the bridge held their breath as the screen lit up. The alien that appeared had copper-colored skin with strange patterns that looked almost like tattoos. Its face had 6 eyes arranged in a perfect hexagon. The crew tried not to stare. "I am Commander Vex of the Ardani Empire," the alien said through the translator. "We control 50 star systems in this region. We welcome you as our newest subjects." Captain Park stood straighter. This wasn't the friendly greeting she had hoped for. "Your tribute will be accepted within 1 solar rotation," the alien continued. "Prepare your offerings." The bridge crew looked at each other nervously. Captain Park kept her face calm, though her heart raced. "Commander Vex, I am Captain Ju Park of Earth's exploration vessel Horizon. We come as explorers and potential friends, not subjects. Humanity offers peaceful relations between equals." The Ardani commander's 6 eyes blinked in sequence. Then its upper limbs moved in a quick pattern, crossing over each other. "That looks almost like our military salute," whispered Lieutenant Puckley. Thinking it was a greeting, Captain Park nodded respectfully and smiled. The alien's eyes suddenly glowed red. Without warning, the Ardani ship fired a beam of energy at the Horizon. "They're attacking," shouted Security Chief Juno Kang. Shields failing, the ship shook violently. Crew members fell from their seats as panels exploded around them. "Evasive maneuvers," ordered Captain Park, grabbing the railing to stay upright. "Huck, get us out of here." Lieutenant Lee's fingers danced across the controls, making the ship twist and turn. Another energy beam barely missed them. "Engine room, we need everything you've got." Park called through the ship's communication system. "Engines at maximum, Captain." Chief Engineer Jungo Shin replied, his voice nearly drowned by alarms. "But we've taken heavy damage." The Horizon spun away from another attack, but a 3rd beam struck its side. Half the bridge went dark. "We can't take another hit like that," warned Juno, blood running down his face from a cut. "Shields are at 12%. Captain Park looked at the alien ship preparing to fire again. She had 1 chance. "Prepare for light jump," she ordered. "We're leaving now." "But Captain," protested Navigator Suvin Choi, "the engines are damaged. A light jump could tear us apart." "If we stay, we're definitely dead," Park said firmly. "Calculate the shortest safe jump back to human space." As the Ardani ship fired again, the Horizon's faster-than-light engines activated. The stars stretched into lines as the damaged ship escaped into light speed, barely avoiding destruction. 2 weeks later, the battered Horizon limped into Earth's orbit. Captain Park stood before the United Defense Council in their underground meeting room. Her uniform was still torn, and her arm was in a sling. "Show us this encounter again," said General Tae-Woo-yoon, his face grim. The room darkened as Captain Park played the recording. The council members watched in silence as the peaceful greeting turned into an attack. "We did nothing to provoke them," Park explained. "It seems our gesture of respect was somehow taken as an insult. By the time we realized what was happening, they were already firing on us." Admiral Shion Hoba leaned forward. "And you're certain they used the word war?" Park nodded. "After we jumped away, they sent one final message. The translator was clear. This means war, human vermin. Your species will be exterminated or enslaved. There is no third option. The council room filled with worried whispers. Earth had never faced an alien threat before. The Ardani believe this will be an easy victory, Park concluded. But they've made a terrible mistake. They know nothing about humans or how we fight when cornered. They've started a war with the wrong species. The Ardani ships moved with confidence toward New Buzan, humanity's farthest colony. The alien vessels gleamed in the starlight, their weapons ready. Grand Marshal Dizar had sent 20 warships for what he called a simple extermination mission. These humans will surrender quickly, he had told his fleet commander. They have no real defenses at their outer colonies. What the Ardani didn't know was that Admiral Taiyan Choi had been preparing for them. He stood on the bridge of his command ship, Hidden Dragon, watching the enemy approach on the main screen. Enemy fleet will be in range in 5 minutes, reported Lieutenant Mina Kang, her eyes focused on her tactical display. They're spreading out to surround the colony. Admiral Choi nodded calmly. He was older than most active commanders, with gray in his short hair, but his mind was sharp, and he understood something the Ardani didn't. Sometimes old tricks work better than new technology. Are the mining vessels in position? He asked. Yes, Admiral. All 12 mining ships report ready. Choi smiled slightly. The Ardani think we're primitive. Let's show them what primitive can do. Execute Operation Rockfall. Outside the colony's defense perimeter, 12 ordinary mining ships floated among the asteroid belt that circled New Buzan's star. To the Ardani sensors, they looked like harmless industrial vessels, not worth targeting yet. Inside the lead mining ship, Captain Hannah Moon gave the order. Activate modified tethers. Target the largest Ardani vessels first. The mining ships had been quickly retrofitted with military-grade gravitational tethers, equipment normally used to pull asteroids for mining. But today they weren't pulling asteroids. They were throwing them. The first massive rock, nearly half a kilometer wide, accelerated toward the Ardani fleet. Then another, and another. A barrage of asteroids, each one aimed at an alien warship. On the Ardani command ship, alarms blared. High-mass objects approaching at increasing speed, shouted the sensor officer. Impact in 30 seconds. The Ardani commander looked confused. Where did these come from? Ray shields. But the Ardani shields were calibrated for energy weapons, not giant rocks moving at incredible speeds. The first asteroid smashed through the shields of an Ardani destroyer, breaking it in half. 6 more warships suffered direct hits before they could adjust their defenses. Admiral Choi watched with satisfaction. Now bring in our fighters. Small human attack ships that had been hiding on the dark side of the moon swooped in, targeting the damaged Ardani vessels with conventional weapons. The surprise was complete. Retreat, ordered the Ardani fleet commander. This was a trap. The remaining alien ships turned and fled, leaving 7 destroyed warships behind. On the research station Prometheus orbiting Earth, Dr. Jimin Song hadn't slept in 3 days. Her lab was crowded with equipment, and empty coffee cups littered her desk. Her assistant Jiho looked worried. "Doctor, you should rest," he said. Dr. Song shook her head. "The Ardani will attack again. We need to understand how they communicate." She stared at the strange patterns on her screen. They were recordings of Ardani signals captured during the first attack. The patterns didn't make sense in regular communication theory. "Wait," she whispered, noticing something. "These signals don't follow normal space-time rules. They're instantaneous, regardless of distance." Her eyes widened. "It's quantum entanglement. They're using paired particles to communicate instantly across space." Jiho looked impressed. "No wonder we can't block their signals. Quantum entangled particles can't be interfered with." "True," said Dr. Song, smiling for the first time in days. "But every quantum communication has a unique signature. We can't block it, but we can track it. And if we can track it, We can listen to their plans," Joe finished excitedly. Within days, Dr. Song's team built devices that could detect Ardani quantum communications. They couldn't understand the language yet, but they could track which ships were talking to each other and when orders were being sent. Meanwhile, on the Ardani homeworld, Grand Marshal Dazar was furious about the defeat at New Buzan. "How could primitive mining ships defeat our advanced warships?" he demanded of his officers. "They used asteroids as weapons," explained his fleet commander. "Simple but effective. We weren't prepared." Dazar's 6 eyes blinked with anger. "A lucky strategy. These humans have no proper warships, no advanced weapons. They cannot stand against our full might." He pointed to a holographic map of human space. "Prepare a larger fleet. We will attack their main colony world next. No more games. Full extermination protocol." His officers bowed and left to prepare the attack. None dared suggest that perhaps they were underestimating these humans. Back on Earth, Admiral Choi received the news of the victory at New Buzan with a serious face. "This was just the beginning," he told the Defense Council. "The Ardani will return with more ships, more weapons. But now we know they can be beaten," said General Ji-hoon. Admiral Choi nodded. "Yes, and more importantly, they don't understand how humans fight. We adapt, we improvise, and we're very good at using our enemy's strength against them." As he spoke, Dr. Song's team was already intercepting the Ardani's plans for their next attack. For 6 months, humans had been fighting for survival. They'd won some battles but lost others. The Ardani attacks grew stronger each time. 3 human colonies had been destroyed. Millions of people were now refugees on Earth and other safe worlds. But humans had been busy during these hard months. Deep under the Pacific Ocean on Earth, enormous shipyards had been working day and night. These shipyards were a secret that few knew about, built years ago in case Earth ever faced a serious threat. Inside the largest underwater facility, General Minho Kang watched as workers put final touches on the newest ship. It was bigger than any human warship before it. Its black hull absorbed light rather than reflected it. "Is it ready?" he asked the chief engineer. "Yes, sir. The Thunder is ready for battle," the engineer replied. "All 5 ships in the class are now complete." General Kang nodded with satisfaction. For years, Earth had been developing advanced weapons but keeping them secret. Now it was time to use them. "The Ardani think they know what we're capable of," he said quietly. "They're wrong." At the Unified Science Academy in Seoul, Dr. Sung-Ho Yoon carefully examined tissue samples taken from dead Ardani soldiers. His lab was filled with strange equipment and bright lights. 3 other scientists worked nearby, watching his progress. "Look at this," Dr. Yoon said, pointing to his screen. "Their nervous system has unusual receptors. I've never seen anything like this in any Earth creature." He adjusted some settings and sent a weak electromagnetic pulse through the sample. The tissue twitched violently. "Amazing," whispered his assistant. "What does it mean?" Dr. Yoon smiled. "It means we found their weakness. The Ardani are extremely sensitive to certain electromagnetic frequencies. If we hit them with these specific wavelengths, it won't kill them, but it will definitely mess up their ability to fight." He immediately called Defense Headquarters. "I need to speak to Admiral Park. We have something that could change the war." 2 weeks later, Admiral Ju Park stood on the bridge of the Thunder, humanity's newest and most powerful warship. 4 sister ships floated nearby, each carrying weapons that had been theoretical just a year ago. The small fleet waited near Proxima Centauri, the closest star to Earth's sun. Intelligence reports showed that the Ardani planned a major attack here, hoping to break through to Earth itself. This time, humans would not just defend. They would fight back. "Status report," Park ordered, her voice calm despite the tension. "All systems ready, Admiral," replied Captain Chono. "Pulse satellites deployed and in position. The Ardani fleet will arrive in approximately 10 minutes. Admiral Park nodded. She had come a long way since commanding the exploration vessel Horizon. That first encounter with the Ardani had changed her life and humanity's future. Now she had a chance to end what the aliens had started. "All ships, maintain position," she ordered. "Remember the plan. We don't need to destroy them all. Just make them understand that attacking humans is a very bad idea." Exactly on time, space rippled as 30 Ardani warships appeared. They immediately formed an attack pattern and moved toward the human colony on Proxima's fourth planet. The human ships remained hidden behind the system's outer planets, waiting for the right moment. "They've detected the colony, but not our fleet," reported the sensor officer. "They're sending landing ships down to the surface." What the Ardani didn't know was that the colony had been evacuated days ago. Only automated systems remained, sending fake signals to make it seem inhabited. "Let them commit more forces," Park said. "Wait until half their fleet is focused on the planet." When 15 Ardani ships had moved into low orbit around the colony world, Admiral Park gave the order they had all been waiting for: deploy the pulse arrays. Full spectrum attack. Across the star system, hundreds of small satellites that had been hidden among space debris suddenly activated. They emitted carefully calculated electromagnetic pulses at frequencies that Dr. Yoon had identified. The effect on the Ardani ships was immediate. Their precise formation broke apart as ships began moving erratically. Some fired weapons at nothing. Others spun in circles. "It's working," exclaimed Captain Juno. "Their crews must be completely disoriented." "Now," ordered Admiral Park, "bring in the Thunder class. Target their command ships first." The 5 human warships emerged from hiding and activated their main weapons. Unlike traditional weapons that tried to penetrate shields, these new gravitational weapons distorted space itself around the Ardani shields, tearing them apart from the outside. The first Ardani command ship lost its shields in seconds. Rather than destroying it, the Thunder fired precision weapons that disabled its engines and weapons. "We want prisoners, not corpses," Park reminded her weapons officer. "Disable when possible." 3 more Ardani ships lost shields and were quickly neutralized. The rest, still affected by the electromagnetic pulses, attempted to regroup but couldn't coordinate their efforts. For the first time in the war, the mighty Ardani fleet turned and fled, leaving disabled ships behind. As the last enemy ship disappeared into faster-than-light travel, cheers erupted across the human fleet. Admiral Park allowed herself a small smile. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. "The Ardani have retreated. Proxima Centauri remains in human hands." The war wasn't over, but today marked a turning point. Humanity had shown the Ardani that they had chosen the wrong species to attack. The war room was silent as Jumsu Bai placed a holographic image in the center of the table. The small man had dark circles under his eyes from weeks without proper sleep. His intelligence team had been working non-stop to find the Ardani homeworld. "We found it," he said simply, pointing to a star that glowed bright blue in the display. "Their home system. And we've mapped their defensive grid." The military leaders leaned forward to study the hologram. The Ardani homeworld was protected by orbital platforms, defense satellites, and a large fleet of warships. "It would be a difficult target," said General Minnie. "We could lose many ships attacking it." Admiral Ju Park studied the defenses with careful eyes. After a long moment, she looked up at the War Council. "What if we don't need to destroy them?" she asked quietly. "What if we just need to show them we could?" Silence fell again, as everyone considered her words. "A demonstration, not annihilation," she continued. "We show strength through restraint." Some generals looked doubtful, but President Han nodded slowly. "The best victory is one where you don't have to fight," he said. "If we can end this war without more bloodshed on either side, I support it." 1 month later, Admiral Park stood on the bridge of the Thunder as the human fleet prepared to jump into Ardani space. 20 ships, including all 5 Thunder-class destroyers, would make the jump together. It was the most powerful human fleet ever assembled. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said Captain Juno. Park took a deep breath. This mission would either end the war or escalate it beyond measure. "Execute jump," she ordered. Space bent around them as the fleet entered faster than light travel. When they emerged, the Ardani homeworld hung before them, beautiful and blue-green like Earth. Alarms immediately sounded across the Ardani defense network. The sudden appearance of human warships so close to their homeworld was unthinkable. The Ardani had believed humans incapable of finding their home system, let alone reaching it. On the Ardani homeworld, in the Grand Council chamber, War Minister Tizar stared at the emergency display with disbelief. "Impossible," he hissed through sharp teeth. "How did they find us?" Science Director Kalin, the second highest official in the Ardani government, watched the display with different emotions. Unlike Tizar, she had studied human behavior closely since the war began. "They've been tracking our quantum communications," she said, "just as I warned might happen." Before Tizar could respond, the human fleet began to move. But instead of attacking civilian areas, they targeted military installations with incredible precision. One by one, orbital defense platforms went dark, disabled but not destroyed. "Send all ships to attack," Silar ordered. The Ardani home fleet rushed to engage the humans, but they were unprepared for the advanced weapons. Human ships disabled Ardani vessels without destroying them, using the same electromagnetic pulses that had worked at Proxima Centauri. In the council chamber, a message appeared on all screens. An Ardani translator converted the human words. "We could destroy you. We choose not to. This war can end today." The message repeated on all frequencies across the planet. Civilians watched on their communication devices as human ships systematically neutralized Ardani military power without causing mass casualties. Klen turned to the supreme leader of the Ardani. "Leader Villar, these humans fight unlike any species we have encountered. They show restraint when they could bring destruction. We should consider their offer of peace." Cesar slammed his hand on the table. "Never. This is a trick. Once we surrender, they will destroy us all." "If they wanted to destroy us, they could do it now," Killen argued. "Look at what they're doing. Disabling, not destroying. They don't want extermination. They want peace." The debate raged for hours as the human fleet continued its precise operation. Public opinion among the Ardani began to shift. Many civilians, seeing the humans' restraint, began calling for an end to the war. Finally, Leader Villar made his decision. "We will negotiate with the humans." Tsar's eyes flashed with anger. "You are making a terrible mistake. These humans cannot be trusted." "The council has decided," Villar said firmly. "Prepare to open communications with the human fleet." Tsar stormed out of the chamber. He went directly to the military command center where his loyal officers waited. "The council has been fooled by human tricks," he told them. "We must take control for the good of our species." His officers nodded in agreement. They had fought humans and lost too many comrades to consider peace. "What do you propose, Minister?" asked his second-in-command. Tsar's 6 eyes narrowed. "We have hidden ships that the council doesn't know about. Gather all loyal commanders. We will launch one final attack, not against this human fleet, but against their homeworld, Earth itself." While peace talks began between Admiral Park and the Ardani leadership, Tizar and his followers secretly prepared their ships. 3 days later, they slipped away from the Ardani system, taking the most powerful remaining warships with them. Klen discovered the missing ships too late. She rushed to the communication room where Admiral Park's image waited on the screen. "Admiral, I must warn you," she said urgently. "War Minister Tizar has taken our best remaining ships. I believe he plans to attack Earth directly." Park's face showed no fear, only determination. "Thank you for the warning, Director Cullen. We will be ready for him." The blue light of faster-than-light travel faded as 12 Ardani warships appeared near Earth. War Minister Tizar stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the blue planet on the main screen. His 6 eyes narrowed with hatred. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Target their largest cities first." But as his ships moved toward Earth, something unexpected happened. Hundreds of small lights activated around the planet. Earth's defense grid had been waiting for them. In the command station Sentinel, Admiral Park watched the Ardani ships approach. The station floated in high orbit, protected by the most advanced shields humanity had developed. "All defense units report ready," said Captain Minja Ryu, his voice calm despite the danger. "Pulse satellites are in position." Park nodded. "Let them come closer. I want Tizar to see exactly what he's up against." The Ardeni ships formed an attack pattern and prepared their weapons. They expected to face military resistance from human ships. What they didn't expect was what happened next. All across Earth, millions of ordinary people activated a special program on their communication devices. The program, created by Dr. Jimin Song, allowed civilian signals to bypass Ardani communication blocks. Suddenly, the screens on Ardani ships filled with thousands of messages. Some were simple drawings of humans and Ardani standing together. Others showed mathematical formulas that represented peace and cooperation, concepts that any advanced species would understand. On Tizar's flagship, a confused officer reported, "Sir, we're receiving messages from the planet. Millions of them. Our systems can't block them." Tizar growled in frustration. "Ignore them. Prepare to fire." But many Ardani crew members were already watching the messages. They had been told humans were violent savages, yet here were millions of civilians asking for peace, not with weapons, but with art and mathematics. As the Ardani hesitated, Admiral Park gave the order, "Activate defense grid." Non-lethal protocols. Earth's orbital platforms fired precisely calibrated pulses at the Ardani ships. The pulses didn't damage the ships but disabled their weapon systems one by one. "What's happening?" Tizar demanded as his weapons officer reported systems failing. "They're neutralizing our weapons, sir," the officer replied. "But they're not attacking us directly." Tizar slammed his fist on his command chair. "This is impossible. Fire everything we have." But it was too late. His ships were defenseless, surrounded by Earth's defense grid. And then, a new face appeared on his communication screen. It was Science Director Kalin. "War Minister Tizar," she said, her voice carrying across all Ardani ships. "I've come with the human fleet to end this madness." Behind her, 5 Thunder-class destroyers appeared, dropping out of faster-than-light travel. "You are a traitor," Tizar shouted. "No," Kalin replied calmly. "I am a scientist who recognizes truth. These humans have shown us something our species has forgotten. That true strength lies in restraint, not destruction." She turned to address all Ardani crew members. "This war was founded on misunderstanding and pride. Look at what these humans do. They could destroy us all, but they choose not to. Even now, they disable our weapons without harming our crews." On several Ardani ships, crew members began to question their orders. Some had lost faith in Tizar after seeing so many failed attacks against humans. Kalin continued, "I have seen their world. I have spoken with their leaders. They want peace, not conquest. This war ends today, if you choose to end it." Tsar reached for his weapon, but his own officers stopped him. The war minister had led them from defeat to defeat, and now they saw a different path forward. 3 months later, Admiral Park stood in a meeting room on a space station orbiting Proxima Centauri. Beside her stood Kalin, now the official ambassador of the Ardani people. They both signed a document called the Proxima Accords. "With these signatures," Park said, "we establish not just peace between our peoples, but a framework for all future first contacts." Kalin added, "so that no misunderstanding leads to unnecessary conflict again." The Accords established clear rules. No species should demand submission from another. All communication should be translated and verified before actions are taken. And most importantly, patience and respect must guide all interactions between different species. 5 years passed. Earth and the Ardani homeworld established regular trade and cultural exchanges. Scientists from both worlds shared knowledge, making great advances together. On the anniversary of peace, a new monument was unveiled at Earth's orbital diplomatic center. It showed human and Ardani hands reaching toward each other across space. Leaders from both worlds attended the ceremony. Former Admiral Park, now Earth's Director of Interspecies Relations, stood with Ambassador Killen as the monument was revealed. "We learned much from this conflict," Park said to the gathered crowd. "Not just about the Ardani, but about ourselves." Killen nodded. "And we learned that sometimes the strongest species is not the one that wins the most battles, but the one wise enough to know when not to fight." A young human child and a young Ardani stood together and pulled a cord, removing the cover from the monument's inscription. It read, "To those who taught us that strength lies not in conquest, but in the wisdom to avoid unnecessary conflict." Later, as the celebration continued, Park stood by a window looking out at the stars. "Do you think there are other species out there?" asked Killen, joining her. Park smiled. "Definitely. And thanks to what we learned from each other, we'll be ready to greet them properly next time." The end.